The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Among those who went up to worship at the festival were some Greeks. These approached Philip, who came from Bethsaida in Galilee, and put this request to him: "Sir, we should like to see Jesus." Philip went to tell Andrew, and Andrew and Philip together went to tell Jesus. Jesus replied to them, "Now the hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. I tell you most solemnly, unless a wheat grain falls on the ground and dies, it remains only a single grain. But if it dies, it yields a rich harvest. Anyone who loves his life loses it. Anyone who hates his life in this world will keep it for the eternal life. If a man serves me, he must follow me. Wherever I am, my servant will be there too. If anyone serves me, my Father will honor him. Now my soul is troubled. What shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? But it was for this very reason that I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name." A voice came from heaven. "I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again." People standing by who heard this said it was a clap of thunder. Others said it was an angel speaking to him. Jesus answered, "It was not for my sake that this voice came, but for yours. Now sentence is being passed on the world. Now the prince of this world is to be overthrown. And when I am lifted up from the earth, I shall draw all men to myself." By these words, he indicated the kind of death he would die. The Gospel of the Lord. So how's your Lent going? Oh, as hard as that. So near the finish line, yet not near enough. But remember why you're doing this. I like to share this story with you. It might help your Lent and your life. A tiny grain of seed is planted deep within the soil. It tucks itself into complete darkness. It's fearless, comforted by the tough, safe shell that is its home. It belongs there. It knows it. In quiet, in growth, home. Then calamity. The shelter turns tight, invading and painful. The growing seed finds its peace is replaced by shock. Its formerly great protector is now opposing it, holding it back, crushing it. Then suddenly, as if planned for all eternity, the protecting shell cracks right open. "Wait, wait, I need you," shouts the seed. Nothing doing. The shelter goes to pieces. Moisture trickles in, and bits of dank, cold soil. Anything and everything can now wriggle into the heart of what was a quiet, peaceful place. The seed goes crazy. What is left of it copes somehow, wildly extending in a new, thin arm outward, then slithering out its whole self, steady by jerks through the cracks in its shell. had to get out of here. So it dares its way through the rough, cold mud. How foolish, how shaming. Stay where it's safe, you fool. But the slowly transforming tiny self seems to be taking on a new life. Is this its new home now, in the slippery soil? It moves with caution. It's going upwards. Too much is in its path, including a huge, unyielding rock, a jagged, rough, uncaring rock, heedless of the tiny green shoots. And so the story ends. Except the former seed appears to have willpower. It's seeing something, urging itself towards some pressing objective, rooting its way with intuitive ambition. Along under the edge of the rock, brutally, fearfully, and with ripping pain, after what seems like years, it achieves the far under edge of the rough rock. And guess what? It starts upward again. Now there are hard chunks to press through and plenty of pebbles. The higher it goes, the drier the surrounding soil becomes. Then the top crust, it forbids any penetration. It's an ultimate, intractable, stupefying barrier. And so the story ends. Except for one voice deep within. Push, push, it murmurs. I am with you. Now, just a thinnest lesion in the tough skin. With a certainty that might have been written into its heart. This wheat to be gets to the place where it's meant to be. In a heaven of light and warmth, bathed in the sun's astonishing rays. It's now a plant that stretches and yawns in the wafting breezes of spring. It's just like our own journey, isn't it? Dark mud can take a chokehold on our life. But Jesus says, do not worry, trust me. Unless a wheat grain falls on the ground and dies, it remains only a single grain. But if it dies, it yields a rich harvest.